buttons, y'all? This is TO BESTOW, episode 36. And in this video, I will be, conveniently, sewing 3 of my graphic shirts. These are all artist band shirts. The first one is The War and Treaty. I got this shirt in 2019 when I had the privilege of interviewing them for the Minnesota State Fair, and they gave me that shirt, and I love this band. I think they are incredible, featuring Michael and Tanya Trotter, who are great musicians, great artists. I think you should listen to them if you've not heard of them. So I've already cut the collar off from these shirts, so it's going to cut some time. I'm going to just use black thread for each to make it simple. Long thread here. First button is a gray and black, sort of a white undercast. It's like a moon button, waxen gibbous. Just put that on this side. I'm going to try to get all of these shirts sewn in this video without my camera dying. I just realized before I recorded that the battery's kind of low. So we'll sew until we can't no more. But anyway, yeah, this is a War and Treaty shirt. Got it in 2019, and I love this shirt. I used to not wear graphic shirts, but when it comes to bands, you know, I am a person that believes you should know who you're wearing. Like, if you have a shirt on, you should know who that artist is, because you could be wearing somebody who's not a good person, and that's not cool, right? And you can't be like, oh, I didn't know. I was like, well, can you read? You gotta know what the symbols mean, who the artist is, what they represent. You don't have to agree, but know where they stand at least, right? Meaning you don't have to agree with all of what they agree with, but generally there needs to be some correlation, some acknowledgement of who that artist is, right? In your life, outside of just listening to them because the music sounds good, or because it has a cool graphic. I think a lot of people get thrown off into the symbolism of whatever said thing. Maybe the artwork is really cool, or it has a particular messaging, but yeah, you should know those things, I think. First button is out. Now we're going to get the second button, which is this one. Just a simple 4-hole button. I've had this one for a while. This button is kind of beaten and scarred. That's a reference that we will get to pretty soon. Broken, beaten, and scarred. But I like this button because it's still here. I don't know how long it'll be here. Hopefully it stays a little longer, but it's definitely gone through the ringer. I have to remember to show you all what I'm doing. So let's see. Oops. I have my phone a little too close to the edge there. The thread is a life form. It picks up on everything. It picks up. What is it? What is that? don't know how that happened, but apparently some of the thread started bleeding out on the back. One way to fix that is to go from the back and to pull so that it's not exposed. Okay. Very big on that. But lately, I have enjoyed showing some thread that are not just on the button, that just kind of like comes out of the shirt. So it depends on the flavor. I'm not sure if any of that makes sense. But what I was saying is, I was sewing this button down and some of the thread was exposed out of the holes. And it looked kind of winky, so I had to cut that off. But anyway, one more button to sew on the War and Treaty shirt, and it's going to be this one. This is a very whimsical button. I've had this button in 2019 as well. Weird. The button just is the great. The thread is the great puller. The thread is the great puller. Now we're going to make our shank. Wrap around. Create our planet shank. Sometimes you gotta pull it out. Create two nuts. That's okay though. It's one of those things. All right. The War and Treaty shirt is complete after technical difficulties. And so now we have the second shirt, the Metallica shirt, The Struggle Within, You're Ruined, from the Black album. Those buttons will be a nice yellow for a whole button, which we'll sew with yellow thread. Why not? I realize with small buttons like this, it's not that big of a button. I only need to sew it once. I don't have to go crazy with this one because it's already embroidery thread, which means it's strong. Secondly, it saves time. So once I get through all of them, I just make a shank. As you can see here, barely probably. I'll go in from the back. And there we have it. Now just secure it down. Can work on the next one, which is going to be this brown 2-hole button. I like this one because the button is just a very interesting color. It's like a golden brown, golden green, deep. I don't know how to describe it, but I like the color. So I'm going to sew that on the right sleeve, and then once we finish sewing this one, we have one more button. It's just 3 buttons for every short sleeve shirt. The last button is white. Oop. Of course I dropped it. White one. Now you can see it. That's gonna go to the right. I'm gonna sew that with this emerald turquoise blue. You want to watch out for that. Watch out for that. Make sure it's not exposed, because there have been times I've just sewn away not looking at the front. That's a very grave mistake. Alright. Gotta sink. You all to see it as much as I'm seeing it. Okay. And there we have it. Metallica is a great band. I've seen them 4 times. I really love their latest album, 72 Seasons. And a shout out to Jamila, who has given me their name. The last shirt in this video that I'm sewing is Sananda Maitreya's Nigger Mortis shirt. This is an album that came out in 2009 on my birthday, May 20th. And it's a great album. It's very much a departure from the poppy kind of stuff. It has accordions and fiddles, violins, bass that's really deep. It's talking about a lot of poetic stuff like usual, and this record is just very stripped down. I don't think it gets enough credit, so shout out to it. Rigor mortis. Somewhere between vigor and rigor mortis. Okay. Second button. I'm trying to quickly do this because I feel like my camera's about to die. That's the other button we're sewing. Okay. Trying to be quick, y'all. And I don't have my AC on because, well, it's not an AC, it's a fan. But I realized in the last couple of videos the AC is pretty loud, and I feel like this is much better in terms of the sound, although I'm still sweating. So it's just what it's gonna be. What's it gonna be? Said in vogue. Okay. Get that out. Push it. Okay. Now, cut that off. And we have one more button to sew for this shirt. And then that will be the ending of episode 36. That button is a orange button like this. Looks like a candy. down. I didn't go into detail about this album as much as I could have. Neither did I for the other two shirts, but one thing I could say about this shirt is that it's one of a kind because not many people know who Sananda is. A lot of people know who Metallica is. There's some people who know about the Warren Treaty. They're getting more exposure, but Sananda used to have a life that was much more recognizable under a different name, Terrence Trent D'Arby. But even then, he was only exposed to a bunch of people at one time because he had a huge hit with his first album. But then his subsequent albums did not garner as much attention. But I'm willing to say, if you've not heard any of the music he's taken since he changed his name to Sananda, you should give it a try. My favorite song on this record is Oh Carolina, but also At the Crossroads. And also This Town. Oh Lovely Juanita, the first song. Like, who has a song called Oh Lovely Juanita? Sananda does. Alrighty, and there we have it. 3 graphic shirts all sewn down in this episode, part 36 of TO BESTOW. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.